And welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where it may be the international break, but well, there is no breaks here. And actually, there seems to be no breaks for the players either, because we're going to be talking quite a lot today about injuries, about real concerns that we have for several players in the Barcelona squad. But aside from that, we've also got a really interesting transfer update and a rumour regarding Marc Guehi. I think we have to talk about that. He's been linked to Barca, and I think that's interesting. It is all on the way. So let's do this, because today's extra special news roundup is coming to you courtesy of Golazo Jersey, who, as I've explained before, the prices of football jerseys right now, they are out of control. They are absolutely scandalous at times, and all I'm trying to do here is offer an alternative for you guys. And I've always said on this channel, I would never ever promote anything that I didn't personally believe in, that I didn't personally trust in, which is why I've done my own order from Golazo Jersey. And let me show you here what I have received, because already even the packaging is absolutely fantastic there. The attention to detail is just perfect. And when you're looking here at the jerseys that I received, I've gone with the Barca home, the Barca away. I hope you like my selections here. I've gone with Pedri on the back of the away and Lamine Yamal 10. Also, I chose to have the Champions League branding there on the sleeves. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at the quality here. I assure you guys, you will not be disappointed. And I also went with the exclusive Spotify retro Travis Scott jersey. And the reason for that is you can't buy these anymore. You cannot buy these shirts anymore. The club only sold a limited amount. And this is what I mean, because many of those limited edition shirts were bought, honestly, by scalpers who immediately put them on eBay for 10 times the amount. And right here, you can get involved. You can show your colours. You can do all of that for significantly less. And if you follow the link in the description down below, that will take you there right to the Golazo Jersey site. There's so much on there, so much available for you, shipping around the world in about 2 to 3 weeks. And of course, you will be supporting the channel. I really do appreciate all the support. But indeed, guys, we have to start by talking here about Paris Saint-Germain against Barcelona in the Champions League. Because can I just say, we are less than a month away. We are already very much accelerating towards this fixture. And I'm telling you all of this right now because PSG in particular, they have a big concern on their side, because during this international break, Ousmane Dembele was forced off injured with the national team there, with a potential hamstring injury. Now, apparently, PSG are fuming. I mean, if you look at their fans right now, and at the club as well, they are furious with the national team, really unhappy with Didier Deschamps. There was apparently some concern with Dembele even before this game with that hamstring, but he was still brought on anyway, and we will find out in the coming days exactly how much time Dembele will miss. Will he be available for that Barca game? He, of course, is so key these days for PSG. We will have to wait and see. And I also just want to say, speaking of PSG, I want to send some good wishes and a speedy recovery to Luis Enrique right now. He actually suffered a pretty serious cycling accident on Friday. He had to be treated there by the emergency services. He had to actually have surgery on a fractured collarbone. And I was sad to hear that news. We all know that Luis Enrique loves his bike rides. He goes out there into the mountains just to clear the head, spend some time with friends as well, and it will be very special for us to reunite with what is a legend of the club, as a player, as a coach as well, winning the Champions League for us, and we are going to reunite with him very soon in that mouth-watering Champions League tie against Paris Saint-Germain. But of course, guys, we do unfortunately, as I say, have problems and concerns of our own. Let's start with Gavi, who of course we already knew about. He missed the game against Rayo Vallecano before the international break after he picked up a bit of a blow there to his knee in training. Now, initially, of course, there was real concern. There was real worry about that knee. It was the same knee that was operated on with Gavi when he was out for such a long time, of course, from the game. But then we heard maybe it's not so serious. He didn't go on international duty with Spain, of course. He's been recovering now at the club during this break. But right now in the media, there does seem to be I don't know, a little bit of negativity about Gavi. You know, we're hearing that he still has some pain, he still has some discomfort in that knee, even in training right here, so that the club are continuing to monitor him, his progress right now. And we're hearing at this stage he may not be ready to return immediately against Valencia after the break. He might not even be available to play Newcastle in that first Champions League game that we have. And I just hope right here that obviously we don't want to take any risks with Gavi. Let's let him recover, especially on that knee. You don't want to risk anything at all in that area, but let's just hope here that it's not something serious and that it doesn't develop here into something that's a lot more concerning. We do stay though right here in midfield, and we move on to talk about Frenkie de Jong, because there's real concern right now even about him, because he left the Netherlands' training camp just yesterday and he is now back in Barcelona. He has left there, the Dutch camp, and he's back at the Ciutat Esportiva. He arrived there this morning, where he is going to undergo further tests on exactly how severe his injury is. All that the Dutch national team said is that basically he's not fit enough to play. You know, he's got a bit of a problem, he's got a bit of an issue right now, he's not going to play, so we're going to send him home. That kind of situation. What you can see already here, guys, again, very, very early on in the season, but we've already got issues in midfield. You know, we heard before about, oh, we're so stacked in this area, there's so many different players, maybe that's why we could let Marc Guehi go, maybe that's why you could let Firmino go. We've got problems here with Gavi. We've now got concerns and injury problems with Frenkie de Jong, who's had them, of course, before. He struggled last season with injury problems. That's why we will need everybody. That's why we need a squad here where everybody's going to play a part, everybody is going to be important, and especially as well, think about Marc Guehi right now. He's getting close to that return. We are looking after the international break here at that game against Valencia. Perhaps he is now going to be knocking on the door. That should be his time to be introduced slowly back into the team, but it could be a very much welcomed addition in midfield. Big there it will be to have Bernal back available. But just circling back here to Frenkie de Jong, we also continue to hear in the media a lot of rumours about his renewal. You know, we keep hearing a lot of positive information, a lot of positive reports there about his renewal. You know, Barca think it's going to happen. You know, they feel good about it. They feel good about the meetings that have been had. Now, apparently after the international break, those talks on that renewal, they're going to continue. It is going to be a renewal until 2029. That's what's reported. But it still hasn't happened. You know, Barca, to be fair though, they don't seem in a massive rush. You know, they're not panicking. You know, obviously Frenkie de Jong's contract, it is running down. It does expire just next summer. But right now there is still a belief that everything is on track, that everything is going fine. And I guess if Barca are not panicking, probably we shouldn't panic either. So let's just hope that everything does progress well and we do get that over the line pretty soon. Which then does bring us on to the concern right now surrounding Lamine Yamal. And I guess any kind of concern about Yamal, you know, it doesn't make you feel good, does it? It does put you in a bit of panic mode. You know, we don't want anything at all to happen with him. Now, he played 79 minutes in Spain's recent match there against Bulgaria, and he ended that game apparently with a little bit of back pain, a bit of discomfort there in his back. He didn't train the day after the game, which, to be honest, it's not that unusual. It was a late game, it was a physical game there, so you can understand maybe Yamal and many other players actually didn't train on that day either. But it's going to be interesting to see now what happens in Spain's next game coming up against Turkey. You know, is Yamal going to be involved in that? You know, is Spain going to really push him? Are they going to be careful with him? Are they going to note that discomfort? And I think it's in everybody's interest again right here. We've got to look after Yamal. And to be honest, I'm not just talking here about the Spanish Federation. You know, obviously they need to do their job. They haven't really done it very well in the past, in my opinion. But I'm also looking at Barca too. You know, we play Yamal a lot of games, a lot of minutes. He often stays out there for the entirety of matches there. He's playing the full 90 minutes. And I'm sure that's because he wants to play. You know, of course he wants to be involved. He's a young, exciting player who's always involved in every passage of play. He wants to be out there. He never wants to be taken off. But at the same time, you still have to take that power out of his hands. You know, at Barca, you've got to make sure you're managing his minutes. If the game is won, you know, if we're comfortably there off in the distance, you can give Yamal a bit of rest here and there. And I would expect Spain here in this international break, again, we're early in the season. You've got World Cups and stuff to think about. You know, in the long term, you look after Yamal here. You don't take any risks with him. If he does have pain, if he does have discomfort, please sit him out of that match. Please don't involve him. Don't push him to be involved in that. And we also must do our job in taking care of this phenomenal young talent. But indeed, guys, I know the transfer window, of course, is now over. The window has finally slammed shut. But I do have to say, I was really intrigued by the recent rumours that we've been hearing in the media that Barca, they are very much interested in Crystal Palace centre-back Marc Guehi. Now, this is a really fascinating one for me because obviously next summer, he is a free agent there. And make no mistake, Barca, they're not going to be alone in tracking him, in being interested in him, maybe even in holding a few early talks with his camp. We don't know. But every major club wants him. Barca, Bayern, Real Madrid, Liverpool, of course. Don't forget, they were desperate to sign him. They were very, very close to doing it. They were going to pay 40 million euros right at the end of the window with only a year left on his deal, and they nearly got him, apart from the fact that Palace could not sign a replacement at the time. So that deal ended up falling through. So Liverpool, I'm sure, will go back for him. It's interesting to see where his priorities lie right now, because for me, he would be an excellent centre-back for Barca. He has been absolutely outstanding in the Premier League. He's also made the step up as well to play for the English national team. He's 25 years old. He's at a great age. He's a leader. He's led by example ever since he was a very young player. And I think he's such a well-rounded centre-back. I mean, there's a reason why Liverpool wanted him so badly, why he was their top defensive target. And I think looking at what we need right now, you would all agree, with the exit of Inigo Martinez, we are lacking left-sided options at centre-back. We need players there who are comfortable playing out from that side, who are comfortable operating on that side. That needs to be their primary role. And I look at Marc Guehi, the way he's playing at Crystal Palace, he actually plays on the left side of a back three, which I think actually makes him even more suited to what we need, because he's very, very comfortable walking out, playing out of the defence there, stepping out of that line. He's also very, very good at covering in. He's got that left wing back constantly going forward. He's used to there stepping across and filling in when needed on that left side. And I just look at him right now. He's got a great skill set. And for somebody who is going to be a free agent, centre-backs, top ones, they're in short supply. Barca should be looking at him. They should be attentive to the situation. Whether or not, of course, he's already got his heart set on Liverpool, we don't know. He was very close to going there. But that didn't happen. This is a whole different window now. By the time we get to next summer, many, many things could have changed, and Barca must keep an eye on this deal. It's a free transfer. Of course you got the wage, of course you got all the other stuff too, but this is an opportunity, and for me, he would fit in well. Do you guys agree with that? Have you seen a lot of Marc Guehi in the Premier League? Do you like the way that he's been playing for Crystal Palace and as well for England? And do you believe that he would be a good, solid, exciting centre-back signing next year for Barca? I'm just trying to plan ahead. Barca must be doing it too. Let's look ahead. Let's make sure we've got a good plan in place. But do let me know all of those thoughts in the comments down below here today, guys, along with all of your thoughts on the injury concerns. And like I say, please do check out Golazo Jersey. Follow the link in the description below. I absolutely assure you, you will not be disappointed by the quality they have to offer you. So thank you indeed for all of that great support. I will see you soon, but until next time, as always, Vesca, El Barça.